Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to a bit more Deep Among the Swarm, digging holes for Queen and Country. No, King and Country. Ruler and Country? I'm digging holes because I want a piano, okay? Look, let's leave it at that, yeah, sure, yeah. Welcome back to digging deep down to do the thing around the swarms and try not to do the things. Because yes. Anyway. That went sideways fast, didn't it? Regardless, we are now embarking on a interesting bit, which is honestly, I've been deeper than this, but I've not survived in this realm too much when I played previously, so this is a somewhat less familiar territory for me as well. But we have some sizable reserves in terms of parts, so we have a decent enough chance, I think. I just need to update some key pieces of hardware. So, crafting, please give me, pretty please, light armor Mark II. There's one of the pieces I wanted straight away. Excellent. Shotguns. I'll hang on to the shotgun, honestly, but I might not use it. Clockwork rifle. Potentially useful. But what I'm after it actually is some kind of regular rifle. There we go. Okay, so we've got some stuff there. Though we also need to go into the factory and get some key parts here too. Really? Laser turret Mark II immediately. That's fine, that's fine. I'm actually after a gun turret and a copper barrier, ideally. I'll take a med turret upgrade, sure. Give me that. That's a legendary meg turret there, or that's an epic legendary. Mega spike, cannon, no, scrap. Just trying to figure this out and try and get things going. I'm going to pick up a basic one there, just because. Oh, hey, that's the gun turret. Okay, good. And there's the cannon turret as well, actually. Right, let's lock these things in and see. Because there is a very good reason for this. So, gun turret Mark 1. This is our core building. This is our gun turret Mark 2. Massive jump in health, damage, fire rate, reload speed, and also more accurate to boot. So that's just it. When you hit this tier, the other equipment is just flat out not so good. If you can upgrade to Mark 2s, you really should as best as possible. I mean, in this case, I'm only losing like a quarter of the durability, or slightly over that, to transfer to this grey tier copper barricade compared to my previous titanium one. So that's, you know. Then we're going to keep on going from there as we keep on swapping things in and out. I think I'll probably skip ahead slightly at this point and then break it down a bit further now that I've shown you the disparity between the stats. Catch you in a second. That might be a good utility to kind of have. Amending Blast Mark II, legendary. 1,500 points of healing in a 3 meter AoE. Somewhat pricey to deploy, 7.5 cooldown, so kind of slow, but there's a massive burst of healing, way more than my soldiers can actually handle. So sure, I'll fit that. Yeah, I had a couple of spare scrap and I wasn't sure what else to try to roll for it, so I just went ahead and now I've got healing support at a distance, apparently. I could also... I think the 48 damage probably isn't going to do too well. Just a thought there, but you know, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Let's actually swap that one out completely for the mending drone. I'll leave that fitted as a support option, but we'll leave it there. Nearly 2,000 hit points of healing. My toughest soldiers have like 300, and it's actually my basic dudes now, 390. Yeah, Rifle Mark II. Notice I came across a legendary Sniper Mark II, which is potentially quite tasty, honestly. But I don't want it on my basic clearance people. I also did roll up a bit of support equipment, and it's coming out the same tier as before, so it's only the actual prime equipment, I think, which upgrades a mark. If I wanted raw damage, I could go for a shotgun, but that would also cut the range, which for the exploration troops is not the best of ideas. And then there's the medic who sits quiet and forgotten in the corner. Factory-wise, as you saw, barricades, gun turrets, medical turret, cannon, lasers, everything's upgraded. You can probably not tell from the video quality, but you'll see in-game that these have all become double-barreled turrets now and stuff like that. So, you know, we're all set. We're all ready, kind of. So let's go ahead. Reminder, our modifiers dropping into this first ice biome. Chilled, spooky, panicked, and widespread hives and artifacts abound. Here we go. And immediately we've got some knowledge artifact nearby. I'll take it. Also, another point worth noting, by the way, we start with less initial deposits, so it gets harder to get off the ground. Under the ground. You know what I mean. There's also a big artifact up there as well. Let's get ourselves this and keep on rolling. Oh, I don't have the power. I need to keep going. So, while we set ourselves up, that's initial titanium right there. There's a few bits and pieces. Let's actually go ahead with a comment from last time as I look at my slow trickle of resources and go, that's probably not going to be for the best, that. Yeah, so from Happy Hayfer. Sucks to be you guys. 5 minutes into the video, the Queen already found you. Yes, that was a bit of a rude shock for me, honestly. Let's get a couple of cannons in here, I think. Start to protect my flanks a little. Shall I pop it there? Shall I pop it there? Let's pop it here, I think. By the way, I'm so glad that I went and got the basic barricades. Look at that. Double barrel turrets. Whoa. And even then, they're still taking a few hits. So, that's only marginally better. I had a long grace period at the start, and it's titanium access. Lucky. Only barely managed to hold off the Queen's solo attacks. Yeah, I think that really is triggered by how much damage you're able to deal to her, more than anything else. Let's push through to here. I need to ramp this up. That's another problem with the upgraded marks, though. They actually are more expensive. But I do plan to fix that using my patent pending overwhelming storage methodology. Yes. No, it's one of those odd little things where I do a few things slightly different, and then it can help, and it can also be a slight hindrance as well. Those new turrets are kind of inaccurate. Not gonna lie. Okay, that should do it. Right. Trick or treat. Oh, then Happy goes on explaining that they kind of followed up on the previous, when the Queen withdrew, and then they ran into the problem of being overexposed when the Queen next attacked. Queen attacks were enough to make the Queen stop going out of walls and attack towers behind. They say it didn't have a second defense line and lost soon after. You managed to fight her off because you had the storage capacity to mass produce turrets. I tried to master it as expanding and are always short on energy. I noticed that, honestly, this is kind of me playing a bit into my own shortcomings, I think, more than anything else. And that's the fact that I tend to kind of focus more on one section of things at a time. Notice I'm bouncing back and forth a little bit. So I've got my troops going, I've got some defense, and now I'm building storage just because I know I'm not going to stay on top of things enough to actually spend everything. So that's part of why I always get storage built in as fast as possible. Because, see, whenever I go to this, I wind up building like, well, in previous zones, not this one because they're more expensive. But I built basically most of Squad 2 straight out the gates, just because I had more storage built up ready. And there's a big swarm coming from that one there. Okay, should probably pull back to give a little bit of extra firepower. Actually, I should do the smart thing. I've got these upgraded walls. I didn't show, by the way, but I actually fitted them with a hit point boost. So now they've got almost as much hit points as the titanium barricades did in the previous zone. And I'm going to put that so I can expand past it. You guys move forward slightly, your group 2. That's going okay. I could do without the inherent inaccuracy I seem to have got on my Mark II guns at the moment, but that's what we've got lasers and things for. Yes. There we go. Where was I? So when the Queen ate Hafer's main defence, severed the supply lines to cover half the map, couldn't do anything. The defence line was also quite close to the base, so it didn't have time to react with a different strategy. Yeah, that's kind of why I go out in stages. Like, my current thought is, I've got this here. I know going deeper there's an increasing risk of enemies erupting from the ground. So I'm thinking of honestly getting another defensive line here. It doesn't really get me much, but it gets me some extra resource production. Yeah, it doesn't get me much. By the way, it gets me this. Yes. I mark 3 points for coherence right there. But it also means I've got this line to fall back on. This is something I did kind of learn the hard way on previous visits to this particular location. Group 2, you are set. And that is that this area, if your troops get rolled up, like you've been too slow, the enemy's too aggressive, the rage is too high, stuff like that, this area is a death sentence, pretty much, for the expedition. So, while I haven't really been caught out by random enemy spawns, which seems to now be tied to having might be tied to a given modifier, though I think that will kick in anyway as the swarm gets more annoyed. I am kind of being a bit more cautious in general to make sure that I'm not caught overly exposed. Let's put the gap there. Sure. That said though, this is going pretty chill so far. I still remember the very first time I actually got down into the zone. I tried to clear it with Mark 1s because I hadn't saved any resources at all. It went about as well as you can probably imagine. That one. Still though, I am kind of glad that I'm a bit more cautious with my resources. It does allow me, as was noted there, just to flexibly balance things a bit more. And it also gives me a massive reserve to just dump if I need to mass produce something in a hurry. Notice, by the way, I seem to be struggling on energy. Can I cannot because I've not secured titanium yet. There's no titanium there, but I don't really want it because it's next to the layer. Let's keep on pushing. I think I need to push my generator upgrades further than I actually have done. And we'll proceed from there. Happy Ape's comment continued upon the proto-life, actually. If you give me just a moment more. Don't worry, there will be more time skips in this one. This won't be a stream of consciousness like it was last time. Forward! About proto-life other modes. It is called Experiments. May have unlocked the beating campaign. Oh, notice it afterwards. Honestly, yeah, I think that's more likely. Normally in games that allow you to go back in with random bits and pieces from all over, it's locked at least partially through the campaign for story mode or in general, because it lacks these tutorials and things for using those better towers, just like you mentioned. Oh, there goes one of my troops. They have better endurance, but they don't have good endurance. That's the problem. Also, they have a less magazine size on this new weapon, that's worth noting as well. They are kind of getting hurt a little bit. Let's pull back, and let's give them access to a couple of handy-dandy medical turrets that I can't make because I don't have the titanium. Whoops. But yeah, honestly, I have been poking around in Proto-Life a bit more. It's interesting enough. Though I find it's turned into like a kind of walking wall situation for me. Like I have a wall, I'm moving forward, I salvage the walls behind to get materials back, and then it just keep repeating. That's basically how I've been treating it. That said though, these guys... Oh, yep, look at that. 3,000 hit points on random guy turning up just there. That's the kind of thing I knew to expect in this particular region. Because that is par for the course, honestly. The fact that the ice tier enemies start to really pick up enjoyability. Let's slam down some defensive guns around these, just try and help make sure they stay alive. I think I'm going to have to take a bit of care here, honestly. We're not quite in the situation where I have to merge together my existing troop levels, but we're kind of close. Noticed by the fact that this squad got cut in half. So yeah, I'm not invulnerable anymore. Very much not so. In fact, both squads have taken losses. I need to get some upgrades set in. Talk faster. Yeah. Proceeding from there. It's a good sign that my progress is not really going as steadily as it was before, honestly. Considering I have to keep pausing to rebuild this, I've had to drive this wedge forward just to try and sustain my supply line over this way. It's not helping, honestly. The wild inaccuracy I've got going on with some of my guns is painful, let's be entirely honest. Good. Come on. Yep. And there we go. Yeah, the constant attack waves are also a bit more pressing as well. So I'm having to be more careful with a lot of stuff. I can't trust like a handful of gun turrets to actually keep me clear as things stand. I think my free meal ticket to, you know, have an easy cruise through this game might be kind of over at this point. Because anywhere that's not properly secured is going to falter. But that's why I'm building massive reserves of materials up for, so, you know, might as well do that. Slam that down. And get more walls, because walls make everything better. No, I'm not trying to get elected. What are you on about? Pushing deeper, grabbing forge cores, clearing the map as we do. And of course, as I said, actually doing my best to reinforce the areas to avoid having nasty surprises. Like, I've actually got a little bunker here, which I've realised has just walled off someone, so there we go. More importantly though, there's a lot of coal down this way, and a parts artifact, which I will also trigger. This also gives me some much needed power reserves. I am balancing the edge of like what kind of stuff I want to need to get put in place. Like, ooh, there's copper down there, I want it. I think I'll be okay in this area. I just need to be... Yeah, it took me a bit longer than expected to get off the ground, is probably the best way to put it. Now I've got titanium though, it's all good. I can start to really put the fear of any chosen deity into the swarm in this local area. Though that said, swarm rage is skyrocketing very quickly. So how long this will last, I don't know. Also, I'm still being hindered by having a single titanium mine. That's causing problems. And as you can see, I've already cleared this bottom right corner of the map. I've still got way more to go. I feel like the inaccuracy on those laser turrets might be a potential issue. All the Mark IIs, look at the scatter. Guy there went 30-degree cone easy. That is actually really, really bad. And yes, I am pushing upgrades now, trying to keep things ticking over. Like a better mine's flat out because I've only got one titanium mine. I think I will actually take over this one over here, because I need it more than anything else. Yeah, I need to have that extra source of titanium. One is actually still really, really bad. Is discretion the best part of valor? Maybe. Oh, I'm about to lose this group. Pull back, pull back, pull back, run! My frontline turrets are so wildly inaccurate at this point. It's kind of comical, actually. I do need more medical stuff, though. These guys are getting... If there's more than even, like, a couple of them, that causes problems for my squad. I'm having to actually kite groups now to try and make sure I don't lose things. It's only going to go downhill from here. Increase magazines, yes. Get the mines up preferably first, but also give me everything. I feel like at this point upgrades, I would also willing to say they are not optional anymore. They are now kind of essential. So how much do I want to press this? And you know me, yeah. Since we've already established these aren't actual loyal soldiers, these are, you know, some kind of robot drone clone thing, let us proceed and push forward as best we can. Because I don't need to worry about lives lost here, because I'm choosing to believe what we said before, that these are not actually lives I've got under my control. These are some kind of remote drone situation. Yes, some kind of remote drone. Don't need that artifact though. I'm kind of pushing north of where I've got ready access to in terms of coverage, so let's put down another sensor tower. See what else is up here, but this area seems to be, yeah, pretty clear cut. I want that though. I want resources. I want materials. I want toys. I want shiny, shiny things. I always want these many, many things. And let's face it, I really need the parts because I need to try and update my equipment when and where possible. That's group 2, this is group 1. We're about to have a massive problem. They're attacking that one and they're still hitting that one over there. Yep, okay. Yeah, I can't just have one on attack move and then wander off. It's asking for trouble at this point.
Your forces are under attack.
So I mean, mind you, that was only like a remote power connection. That's okay. I prefer dealing with hordes because this way the sheer inaccuracy of my guns isn't actually a problem. Okay, right. That one's made it back. Sensors. Since I want to get that, let's do so. And because, you know, must mine, must get resources, must be cheeky, silly person. I will then fortify this area as well. I know. Should I be doing this? Eh, maybe. More power will help my reserves charge a bit better, because my power, as noticed, by the way, isn't massively high, even though my power cost is generally higher than everything else. But I also have spare body factories making parts for supply stations, which means I can actually remote this and make sure that it's not going to get suddenly cut out of network. Now that said, turrets is going to be a bit squirrely because of all the unusual ground around this area. I'm sure it'll be fine. Whacking some cannons for good measure, and there we go. That'll do. I'm sure that nothing will spawn up there immediately and then cause me to regret spending all that resources on building things. That's never happened before. Don't know what you're talking about. I also do apologise. I was kind of planning to have this one be try to get back to the whole multiple in one, but this has actually proven to be a bit more of an intensive map to deal with, so it's probably going to only be this episode, looking at how long I've spent recording so far. I'm seriously thinking, if I've got anything else on those soldiers causing them to be less accurate, I need to de-equip it, no matter what it is. Probably the same for those gun turrets as well. Group 2 is there. Group 1 is actually also currently free, so let's push them up this way. Both our groups are congregating in a single spot. Also, I never upgraded my back line. Silly Mark III, you should know better than this. I didn't actually get that sniper turret either. Oh well. I'm sure it won't be a problem. Go, my minions! You stand united, you stand as one. You are the swarm, as a sudden attack kills those towers. I honestly don't care. That's fine. Those towers are extended to catch the last forge core, and I already got it, so that's why I don't mind. I still haven't done this one though, actually, so I need to collect that. Extend the power grid to couple into here, because this will actually... The enemies can come in through here, but the turret line here will deal with anything that way. So that'll be okay. We are goodzo, and it seems like after the upgrades I've not actually been required to reinforce my troops any further, so yeah, the upgrades were kind of essential at this point.
Your forces are under attack. Research complete.
No, my supply tower. Oh well. Honestly, don't mind.
Research complete.
Starts the engines. Destroy uncollected forge cores, that's fine, I'm collecting from a relic. Start the engines. 184%, enemy is relentless and climbing. Oh, and when did I lose power down this way? Everything's fine! By the way, you've lost power. Also, I found another defensive line I didn't actually fully kit out, so let's go ahead and reinforce that one immediately. Again, using those bountiful reserves. That's another reason I do the bountiful reserves thing. If I make mistakes, I can just throw things into the breach and go, oh, I planned for this.
Research complete. Your forces are under attack.
Yep, that's been cut off. That's why I built the outpost up there in the first place. That's all fine. Oh, point of order, by the way. Body factories have actually been upgraded. They are currently Body Factory Mark IIs, automatic. They provide 10 population each. I think it was 5 previously, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not that familiar with the Body Factories. I never really did much with them. That said, though, all available personnel are in my core area. All defences are maxed out, except for the walls, which are actually... They're going to go past 3,500 hit points with this next upgrade, honestly.
Research complete.
There we go. 4,000 hit points apiece. Not too shabby. I think we're going to be just fine for this one. I wish there was a way to accelerate this. Oh, we should also probably check on bombs. I'm going to scrap that mini-bomb. 48 basic enemies of like 3 to 4 times that minimum. Then the mending bomb, is that mending only or does it do damage? I think the game chugged there a little bit because it didn't know what I was trying to do. But yeah, the mending blast cannot be used to, you know, blast the swarm. Worth trying, you know? You never know. Some games treat healing explosives that way, like they heal your allies, but they only harm your enemies. I think it's like how Now to Declaration was like, we're going to throw this frag bomb. It's going to be a nice non-lethal frag bomb. I'll just whisper to every piece of shrapnel in the bomb, hey, don't actually finish them off, you know? Just leave them alive, okay? It's one of those ridiculous things sometimes, depending on the nature of what you're dealing with. I know, random tangent there. 48s. Embarrassingly, I think the splash on my laser turrets is more powerful than the mini-bomb for a single hit. Or at the very least in like 2 hits. Yeah. Not to mention what the actual cannons are doing. Let's have a look-see. Damage. Oh yeah. Upgrade laser turrets, 283 damage per direct hit. Splash I think is only like 10 or 20 or something like that. Because that comes from secondary augment effects rather than actual direct numbers. The cannon though has a built-in AoE and it does 630. Yeah, I think my mini bomb is out of date at this point, very badly. There we go. 20 minutes, 5 units lost, 33 buildings lost, 7,000 kills, 2,500 knowledge, 100 parts, 5 blueprints. Oh my! I told you I'd not been too active in this zone. Okay, what have we got? We've got... okay, so we can get higher tier support mods. That's a tier 2 ammo rack. Also a rocket turret. Gee, I wonder what we'll be trying to craft next time. Tier 2 medical gun? Oh no, we had tier 2 medical turret. I didn't have the gun apparently. Also, hand-carried rocket launcher. And an upgrade to the Radiant Splash mod. Okay, we are actually finding things. Can I check my blueprint collection? I can. Let's see. Sniper shotguns. Yeah, we don't have tier 2 heavy armor. That's why I didn't actually find any when I was crafting for my troops earlier. Though this is also worth noting, one of the stings in the tail of this game. To actually get access to the higher tier stuff, you have to be in the zone, and the danger level of all the opponents will have already kicked up a gear before you can start getting the higher tier equipment for it. Oh well, anyway, let's go ahead and start the drill. We finish each episode as the game rolls by digging a hole. We go ever deeper, and I will never return from these depths. No. Going pretty smoothly so far, though, actually. Oh, speak too soon. There we go. Nearby caves. What have we got? A giant open one, or a giant open one. Choices. Less death nests. My units have more hit points, or sneak attacks. Okay, so here's the distinction, what I was just wondering about in that last zone. Sneak attacks. Sneak attacks will come every so often, and you will not be notified about them. So that's why I was feeling there might be a distinction regarding enemy attacks erupting behind my defensive lines. So this is a special version which it won't tell me that they're coming. They just pop up. Also less hives. Because that's going to force a slight shift in gameplay, honestly, let's actually go with the sneak attacks one, just so that it will show that happening. But we'll stop there. 2/3 of a tank spent. And we have hit 1,368 meters. Yes, this has been IMAR3. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps me, helps channel, give me those virtual headbutts I also crave, and encourages me to finally try and do something that I've been trying to do for a while now, which is get better with my darn videos. My upload schedule is still absolutely out of whack, and it frustrates me a lot. But yeah, see you all later. This series was meant to come out more than weekly, by the way. Just kind of shows you what's happening. It's meant to be more than one of these a week.